Let me know if this has ever happened to you. You're in a grocery store. A song comes into your mind, and instantly, that song starts playing on the radio. Or a friend that you haven't heard from in a while pops into your thoughts, and then all of a sudden, you open your phone to find a new text from her. Are these just coincidences, or is it something more, a real synchronicity? Take, for example, the story of James Lewis and James Springer. They're identical twins who were separated at birth. When they were just 4 weeks old, they were each adopted by 2 different families, and neither of the twins knew about the other. And when they went to their separate homes, both of their families happened to give them the same first name, James, and they were both nicknamed Jim. They both had adoptive brothers named Larry. As they grew up in their homes, they both had a dog, and they both gave their dogs the same name, Toy. If you're thinking that Toy is an unusual name for a dog, you'd be right. According to the website Puppy Leaks, Toy isn't even in the top 500 names for dogs. But the coincidences don't end there. As the twins grew up, they both married women named Linda. In both cases, these marriages didn't last, and they got married a second time, and both of their second wives had the same name again. This time, it was Betty. Each twin also had a son. They both named their sons James Allan and James Allan. Each twin had training in law enforcement, and each had worked part-time in security and as deputy sheriffs in their Ohio towns just 70 miles away from each other. Even though they never met, they shared a lot of the same interests like mechanical drawing, block lettering, and carpentry. They even went to the same beach in Florida for a family holiday, within 3 blocks of each other, without realizing it. But their lives would come together, and they eventually reunited in 1979 when they were both 39 years old. But what are the odds that all of these things would line up in precisely this way? Psychologist Thomas Bouchard, director of the Minnesota Twin Study Project, said that when you start to compound the coincidences in this case, they become highly unlikely very quickly. In fact, I'm flabbergasted by some of the similarities. Their story was so astonishing that many people took this as evidence of a special and unconscious telepathic connection between them. So are these events just a coincidence, or do they hint at the possibility of something more? The answer just might lie in your personality, in your mindset. Professor Bernard Beitman has spent much of his life studying coincidence, and he's found that certain personalities are much more likely to experience synchronicity. For example, people who describe themselves as spiritual and people who are good at processing meaning in their lives are all more prone to seeing synchronicities. Beitman says that his own life is filled with examples of it. When he was 8 years old, he'd lost his dog, and so he went to the police station to ask if they'd seen him, and they hadn't. He left the station crying uncontrollably, and because of that, as he was walking home, he accidentally took a wrong turn to an area he would never normally go, and it was there that he found his dog. This led him on the path to studying coincidence in his research. At the other end of the spectrum, a professor named David Spiegelhalter says that synchronicities never happen to me at all. I never notice anything. I never talk to anybody on trains. If I'm with a stranger, I don't try to find a connection with them because, well, I'm British. And that's the thing. The universe is speaking to us all the time, and there are synchronicities happening all around us. But not everyone is receptive to them. And if you're not open to the possibility, then you'll never notice them happening in your life, and you'll ignore all of the signs that they exist. We can think of it like a person who has color blindness. If you ask them, they'll tell you that there's no difference between the colors red and green. Why? Because from their perspective, they can't tell the difference. A similar thing happens with coincidence. I like to call it synchronicity blindness when people are either oblivious to synchronicities or when they actively dismiss them out of hand. Having said that, not everything is a synchronicity. Some things are just random chance. But is there a way to tell if something's a real synchronicity? Here's my approach to it. The first thing we have to recognize is that real synchronicities are a sign from the universe to get you to understand something or to take action towards something. It might be a message to get you to notice a new opportunity or to warn you against potential harm. But personally, I won't consider it to be a synchronicity unless I get the sign at least 3 times. It really helps to have a journal for this. Here's what I suggest. Pay attention to all the things happening around you, but the first time, just notice that it happened. The second time, pay closer attention and make a note to yourself that it's now a genuine possibility. The third time it happens, then for me, I consider it to be a synchronicity, and I take whatever action that's needed. You might be wondering, why do you need to see it 3 times? It comes down to what's often called the rule of 3. 3 is actually a very important number in many different cultures and traditions all around the world, and it's also important in numerology. It's not an accident that we find the number 3 in many of our greatest stories and myths. Think about all the things that come in 3s. Stories are told in 3s and often follow a 3-act structure with a beginning, middle, and end. Freud thought of the mind as being made of 3 parts: the id, ego, and superego. Many religions view the human person as being made up of 3 elements: the body, mind, and spirit. In Christianity, there's the Trinity of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. There's also the Wiccan rule of 3, which is the idea that whatever energy you put out into the world, whether it's positive or negative, will be returned to you 3 times. And we even find it in the Latin phrase omne trium perfectum, which means that everything that comes in 3s is perfect. The human mind is very good at recognizing patterns, and 3 is the minimum number you need to make a pattern. In numerology, 3 is considered to be the vibration of creativity, self-expression, and communication, so it's only natural that the universe would use this number to signal an important message through synchronicity. And if you've been seeing repeating numbers over and over again, this video explains why it's happening and what these numbers mean. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. It helps me to bring more content like this to you. As always, thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.